Hi guys, just wanted to check in and let everyone know what I've been doing and talk about a couple of things. The first thing I want to talk about is about loving yourself, and the second thing I'm going to talk about is about remotivating yourself when you kind of fall off track. So, this page wasn't set up just in terms of following me for weight loss. That's the main thing, because that's probably the biggest thing I'm struggling with at the moment. But I want it to be able to explore all the issues I have, all the problems I have, and how they all kind of relate to one another and have a knock-on effect, so to speak, of one another. So last year was no secret. I spoke about it in my last video. It was just a bit of a tough year. Loads of odd little things going on that kind of accumulate and contributed largely towards how I was feeling, especially towards the end of the year. The beginning of the year was even worse. It was a really, really, really tough time to me, and it got to a stage where I kind of knew something was coming and I was going to have to do something major to counteract how I was feeling, but I didn't. I underestimated how big it would be. So I'm not going to go into too much details, but I had to make a very, very, very big decision to take someone out of my life. And it was a very hard decision, because it was one of the most important people in the world to me. But it got to a stage where I realised forever who's responsible, and all the journey and all the things that got to this point. I realised that I couldn't maintain this relationship because it was now beginning to cost me too much. Hard decision I've ever made in my life, hands down, worst I've ever felt. I remember the first 2 weeks just being in literally just tears constantly, absolutely constantly, and adjusting to that change was absolutely mental. Then I went through, I probably still am kind of in the angry stage of, well, actually, no, that's like, it's like almost stages of grieving. And now I'm kind of coming to the, do you know what, it is what it is. What's life look like without this now, sort of thing, which is very much how I am anyway. I'm very much an emotional person, and like the first stages, I'm like gobsmacked, world's turned upside down, don't know what I'm gonna do, quite dramatic, even though that's how I feel at the time. Then it's kind of like I allow myself to wallow in that, and then it's like, okay, well, let's move on. What have we got to do now? That's kind of where I'm at now. But this for me showed, or this situation showed, how situations like that can affect all the other problems that you have in your life. So this actually affected my confidence, self-esteem, and as a result of that, and my motivation and enthusiasm for anything, I could literally just about get up and go to work, and that was it. But because of that, I put on even more weight. Now, if you remember in my last video, I'd put on a stone over Christmas. Well, I'd put on another 9 pounds on top of that. And I've not lost any of it yet, only about 3 pounds. So I'm at like 21.5 stone now, when I started at 20 stone in December or November times. Now, that was another kick in the teeth, because that's just something else that I didn't need to have. But hey ho, again, we'll wallow in it, we'll cry, we get up and we sort it out. So on the process of sorting it out, but I kind of realised that I can't sort that out until I sort out my head and my feelings and how I'm feeling. So that was a major thing for me. But the main point from that is I just want anyone to take away that no matter how important someone is to you, a great kind of show of self-love is knowing when it's time to call it a day and when you have to cut it off for your own sake. And I'm not suggesting that you make the decision lightly. It took me ages to think about it, and there was just one incident that was a final straw that I thought, I can't maintain this. And before that, there was things I was suffering with for 18 months, 2 years, and I thought, this is really heavy now. So it's not something that you just say, okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna, stop talking to my best friend or my boyfriend or my girlfriend or this friend or that friend or boy, whatever. You have to think about it and know that it's right for you. So that's the first lesson. Secondly, how it affected me. Well, I wasn't eating at first, and then I went the complete other way. Surprise, surprise! And was overeating, was eating everything. Was eating things I'd stopped eating. I was eating biscuits, cake. Anyone that knows me knows I'm not even really a cake lover. There's odd little cakes. I like my mum's cake. I like Jamaican ginger cake with a bit of custard. Ambrosia Devon custard, actually. Yeah, don't muck about. That's actually all right. That's actually really nice. Other cake. Not a major fan. Can really take it or leave it. Not like me with sweets. Same as chocolate. Not a major fan. Can take it or leave it. I'll have a bit if it's there. I'll have a crunchy. I'll have a double decker. I'll have a cream egg. But apart from that, really take it or leave it. Eating all that kind of stuff. Eating 3 meals a day. Eating big dinners. It just wasn't me. I really worked back into some old habits, and old habits are harder to break. So I did kind of lose motivation. I threw myself into projects. My main project was my front room, which I've redecorated. Most of you probably won't notice much of a difference. It's black at the moment with all new furniture and sofas, which I'm currently lying on. Threw myself into that. That finished, and I had this empty void of I need to focus on something. And I thought, well, let me focus, back on getting fit again, focus on myself, and not just the physical state, but the emotional and mental state as well. I just had no motivation. And I met up with, one of my really, really close friends, Rianne, the other day. And she was asking me how the videos were going and how I was getting on. And I just was honest, said I've got no motivation. I've got no enthusiasm. And she said to me, kind of remember why you started it. And remembering why I've started is why I've made this video and why I've made a conscious effort the last few days. Because the thought of knowing that this video could help even one person was enough to motivate me. Not enough for myself, but to know that this could be watched by someone that could really help them or they really enjoy it was enough for me to think, yeah, do you know what, it's time to get back on it. So it's really bizarre that although I don't know who this is going to, who's going to watch it, that saved me in a way. Someone that I don't even know has saved me and helped me. So I don't want you to underestimate the power of wanting to help others, because that power of wanting to help others can sometimes turn around into helping yourself, which is what's happened for me. So back to the drawing board. I need to go away and look at all of the habits I've picked up and write them all down, have them clear in front of me, do a bit of meditation and really think about what I want to change. Tip I'll tell you now, which I'm going to have to remind myself, is don't list them all down and decide you're going to tackle them all at once, because you set yourself up to fail. So I'm going to start with the main 3 for me, which is picking crap, not exercising enough, because I'm always in my car. As much as I love my Sydney Johnson, I'm always in the car now. I don't walk to work anymore, and I've cancelled my gym membership because I've not been since last year August, but it was paying big £30 each month. So I need to exercise more. I did buy that Joe Wicks Lean in 15. I did his first workout, which is like 15 minutes, and was absolutely dying and sweating, but that's good. So I'm going to try. That's all I'm going to do, is try and tackle a couple, get a bit more water in my system, so on and so forth. Once I've got those on lock, once I got those witches on lock, oh, you can't say that without singing that song. I'll move on to the next. Don't take on too much. Love yourself. Love others more than you love yourself. And everything will be okay. I'm going to watch some Top Gear now. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.